Welcome to A Room and Props, and in today's video we are making Zabuza Executioners Blade.
Okay, so after actually reviewing all my footage from all these videos that I've created for this Zabuza sword build, realized that all my audio was a little bit messed up. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit more of a voiceover on this video and then fix all my audio issues. I currently only own two printers. I own a Creality CR10S Pro and an Ender 3. For this build, the only printer that I was able to use was my CRS10 Pro because it is my bigger plate. The Ender 3 Pro, I was only able to print 3 pieces of the handle, but as you can see, the pieces are pretty large, and each piece it's taking around 1 full day or almost 1 day and a half to print out. And as you can see on the video, they almost don't fit. Each piece of the sword actually have some pretty large notches on each and holes to actually connect with each other. What I did was I sanded down a little bit each one of those notches and the little holes to make sure that they fit correctly. And on the video I just had the first one done and I actually glued it together, so it actually kind of does a little bond. And from there it's pretty much just repeat the process from here and there and out. And of course there's always going to be a small gap or some a little bit larger, but those gaps we're going to be filling it up later on in the video. After a couple days of actually printing, I have most of the pieces already there, and as you can see on the video, I actually started to plastic weld all the pieces together after I attached them all together and glued them in. If you don't know what plastic welding is basically when you take a soldering iron and you pretty much melt the pieces together to create a really strong bond. What I did is I melted both pieces together, those little lines, and at the same time I actually melting the same filament, the same plastic of the print into those grooves, into that line to create the strongest bond as possible. This was my actual first time actually plastic welding anything 3D printed related, and as you can see I did a little bit different from one side to the other side. I left like a little line there to see how strong that bond would be, and believe me, there was a lot of mistakes done, and I've learned a lot from this print, and then something that I'm gonna use on my next prints, which I should always pretty much plastic weld the whole line to create that strong bond. And it actually helps to kind of not have lines when you actually do the little bondo and trying to cover those lines up. After I actually connected a lot of the pieces together, I sanded them down as much as possible as I could, and then I started doing all the little bondo work. I use spot putty glaze, or that's what they call it. It's not full bondo, it's just like for spot areas, but I use that. I use a good amount of that to try to cover all those lines. And after I sand them down really good, you cover them up and then as best as you can, and then you sand it down again. And as you can see on the video, that is the last piece, and that little piece right there, really thin. I already broke it as soon as I pretty much touched it. It's a very thin piece and it broke. But I took it off and I sand that little tip off and make it look like it belongs, because that thin part was really extremely thin. And then that's pretty much the last piece of the sword right there. So when I attach that, do the same thing, sand it down, glue it together, PLA weld it or plastic weld it, and then bondo it and sand it again.
Okay, so far I have pretty much welded or plastic weld every single little piece already completed. At first when I did everything and I was trying to sand it down, with 120 grit, and it was still leaving a little bit of a bump. And then I went to the store and actually got 80 grit, used my palm sander, and actually it did a really good job at sanding down all those little lines. As you can see, I actually had put already bondo over it, and I wasn't happy of how it looked. So with the 80 grit sandpaper and the palm sander, that did amazing. So right now I'm still gonna do a little bit of the spot putty to make sure that I get every single little line perfect. And then I got like a little line here, like a little hole when I was sanding it pretty good. One of the little plastics came off. That's okay, we'll fill that up, and everything is looking really good right here. So I'm just gonna give it all the final touches. I still gotta sand this inside portion up, and I gotta sand this portion down there, and also I'm going to make sure that all that bottom part right there also, it's nice and smooth also. So that means I'm gonna put some filler primer also there. Or I'm sorry, the spot putty, I'm gonna put it all the way in the bottom also to make sure that it's nice and smooth, because that is one visible part. Then after that, should be good to go. And then start using filler primer to make sure that everything is nice and smoother. I already got the spray paint for the sword so I'll use like a black metallic for this portion, and then I have like a little silver metallic for that portion right there. And then we gonna get going. I'm gonna work on the handles also.
So after everything, I finally was able to lay down all the primer. The sword pretty much took one full can of primer, at least the first can of primer. And after looking at it, I had already seen some of the lines are still visible, and that means I had to go back and try to get those lines to be not visible. Somehow it just created, it didn't seem like there was lines that were visible when I first did the whole bond and sent it down, but as soon as I laid down the primer, the lines starting to come out to be visible. So that was something that I had to go back and fix it. And then we're just gonna go back and just pretty much primer it all over again.
Okay, so I actually been at it for pretty much all day today, and I think now after a couple things and lots of sanding and lots of primering, I think I got the sword ready for the actual first paint, which is gonna be like a black metallic. So here's the sword, and it's not perfect like how I would love it to be, but it's good enough. I will say it's 98%. The good thing is that even with the filler primer, does a really good job to hide all the little lines. There's possibly, I could kind of see one right here, but the paint that I actually use is like a metallic black and then a metallic silver. For metallic black, it's gonna be this, metallic silver is gonna be this right here. Does a really good job at actually filling up also. I've used those paints on guns before, and they actually do a really good job at hiding the paint, hiding any lines that like filling up every little gap. So hopefully you can see this and it's focused on the spoon. So this is the black metallic on your right. This is that silver metallic on the left, and the black is gonna go, of course, right here, and the silver is gonna go there. And the same thing is gonna be on the handles. So the handles are somewhere around here. I've been working on them right there. The handles are gonna be basically the same, black and silver, and just like Zabuza's sword, hopefully. All right, so the sword is almost completely done. I just finished, or actually finished this yesterday. Should be all cured by now. As you can see, this portion up here is the portion that goes inside there. I think it goes to like pretty deep. I think it goes deeper, like probably right, actually somewhere right here. It does go all the way to like at least right there. It's mostly good. There's still some visible lines. I just wish that I had taken care of that a little bit more, but because it was taking so long and I want to finish this video, I'm just doing it. This is my little prototype. So for the next one, I learned all the mistakes that I've done on this one, and then I'm gonna roll it over to the next one and make sure that every single little line is actually better covered than this one, of course. But it doesn't look too bad, or actually it doesn't look bad at all. My wife goes and says I don't see the lines unless I really point them out. Line right there, a little bit of line right down here. But after I'm done with everything, because I still got to paint this right here, I got to mask everything, paint that right there. I'm just gonna do like a little bit of weathering and see if I can do a little silver weathering on the lines to see if I can cover them up just a little bit. And of course some weathering on here too, to make it look like, you know, it's been actually used. And yeah, and then hopefully we're completely done and we can show everything and pros and cons and how much it weighs, pretty much. So I have it all fully masked and I already spray painted it, so it looks pretty good. Inspected everything, make sure that it's nice and paint it. Everything is covered. So right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave it there to dry before I pull everything up, and we're gonna assemble it. And so this is it. This is gonna be the final part of the video. So roll it up. So the sword is actually all completely done. I would say I did learn a lot of things doing this sword, and I did a lot of mistakes, a lot of them, and I fixed a little bit, some of them, but some of them I just, for the sake of the video, I didn't go back and redid it again, because if I did, it was going to take a long more time. So I just kind of finished it how it was, and I tried to fix a little things. I gave it a little weathering for some of the little mistakes that I did. Maybe little, fake scratches here and there to try to cover those little lines that I was talking about earlier. But yeah, but the sword is actually all completed right there. So the sword actually sits, I think, around 6 feet, maybe 6'1", or maybe even higher. I'm not even entirely sure. It's a lot higher than I am. And this is what I was talking about right here. I don't know if you are able to see, there's like little wrinkles there. So I laid down the black paint, the black metallic paint, and then let's say around 30 hours I went and then did the silver over here after I masked everything up. And then as you can see, I have like little wrinkles here and there, and that happens is because I didn't let this black kind of cure completely. The can does say you either have to lay another coat or clear coat 1 hour or 48 hours. So I had to wait 48 hours, and this is like some kind of chemical reaction that happens between when you let something cure for this long. And then what I did is I just kind of weather it and make it look like it was very used, and try to kind of like mask those little things, like make it seem like it belongs. But like I might go back. I just wanted to finish the sword already. It has been taking a long time, but I'm gonna go back and fix everything. I'm gonna sand it all the way down. I'm gonna make sure that all those little lines that I did, little like lines here, I didn't mean like fake lines here. I'm gonna go back and make sure that everything is nice and sand it and smooth down, bondo everything. Things that I've learned from doing all this is basically make sure that all the lines are actually completely covered. A lot of bondo. I'm probably gonna have to use the other type of bondo, not the spot putty. And other stuff that I learned is like when you kind of plastic welded, you got to make sure that you don't touch or squeeze while the plastic is still pretty hot, because you will make dents. I made dents somewhere right here, which I try to cover something else right there. And there's like a dent right there, another dent right here, and there's like a small tiny dents that are not too visible, but I know exactly where they are. The wife looked at it. She doesn't really notice stuff until I really point them out, and she's like, oh man, it looks great. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it came out. Another thing that I've learned is make this a lot stronger. This little this part here, I made these bars a lot thicker and stronger inside, but I didn't do it here. And if I grab it from like the bottom, it definitely flexes a pretty good amount. So now this is pretty much, I can actually cosplay as Zabuza now. I got a lot of plans of cosplaying Zabuza. I got a couple stuff that I kind of made in a day. Some gauze for the face, neck, the headband, all that stuff. I did that pretty quickly. I did that like in pretty much a day. But yeah, but now I can have fun cosplaying Zabuza a little bit. I know a lot of Naruto fans do love Zabuza because he has a really great story. But yeah, this is where I am going to end the video. Please do let me know in the comments below what you think about the sword, and if you have any other swords that you would like me to print and for the future, just let me know. Leave a comment below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did enjoy it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you guys on the next video.